welcome to our Finraiser 2021. We're holding our event virtually again this year for your safety and ours, but we really hope we'll be seeing you next year up on top of Solero and overlooking the ocean. But meanwhile, we're just so glad to have you all joining us this evening from the comfort of your homes. And maybe some of you are tuning in with your pods to watch the festivities unfold. We hope that those who ordered a VIP bag are thoroughly enjoying the delicious wines and the scrumptious desserts that our gourmet bakers put together for you. As always, our local businesses, artisans, and service providers have donated some incredible items for you to bid on. You can find the names of our sponsors and donors in the donor video. So please think of them when you need to shop for the holidays or year-round. We also want to give special thanks to our sponsors, WBOC, the Cape Gazette, and Bin 66. We would also like to give recognition to Lisa Dorsey Tucker, the artist who created our delightful mermaid poster. And of course, special thanks to our volunteers who have worked so hard to help us put this event together. Our Finraiser committee has worked very hard on this event all year round, and loads of additional volunteers have joined the effort as we got into the final countdown. Before we start the fun of bidding, we want to share some of the highlights of our work during 2021, which is what you are supporting with your purchases. Of our work is Stranding Response and Rescue for the many whales, dolphins, porpoises, seals, and sea turtles that strand throughout Delaware. 2021 has proven to be a very busy year, during which we responded to 222 animals so far. As is the norm, many of these strandings were caused by human impacts of various origins. One of the most challenging of these stranding events was the 57-foot male fin whale that initially stranded on a sandbar on the bay side of the point of Cape Henlopen. Although we always hope for a happy outcome, we know from experience that when a whale or a dolphin beaches itself, chances are that it is in a dire situation, usually suffering from debilitating health issues and often near death. This is especially true for a deep water species like the fin whale, which should never be near shore. The animal was visibly underweight and was having trouble navigating into deeper water. The whale made several attempts to move into the deeper areas, initially succeeding, but then continuing to head into shore, which is its instinct in order to avoid drowning. It made it around the point, but finally beached for the final time in the plover area. The whale succumbed the following morning, and the necropsy that followed revealed that this animal was suffering from numerous tumors and parasitic infections, confirming that it came ashore because it was in the process of dying. Many members of the public, as well as the state parks personnel, fish and wildlife personnel, and the heavy equipment operators, assisted with this effort, all of whom took a great interest in what was happening with this massive and majestic animal. We have responded to 18 dolphins during this season, 3 of which were still living, which is unusual. One of the more heart-wrenching events involved a dolphin calf that stranded all the way up in Newcastle on 4th of July weekend, which had its own set of challenges. Local firemen rescued the dolphin from the rocks near Battery Park, and MERR was able to work our way through the holiday traffic to collect the little dolphin and bring it back down to Lewis for assessment and care. Unfortunately, the calf was not healthy and had to be humanely euthanized. He was suffering from double pneumonia and other ailments, compounded by the fact that baby dolphins cannot survive without their mother, even with human intervention. This was a heart-wrenching case for all involved, But again, we are always so touched by the outpouring of kindness that's demonstrated towards these animals. And we're glad that we could prevent the suffering that this little one would have endured in the wild without that help. He was frightened and alone and already had shark teeth marks in his skin, and soon birds would have started to prey upon this helpless animal. So at least he had a peaceful end. Seals fare much better than whales and dolphins in terms of rescue and recovery because they are partially terrestrial. And it's this fact that keeps us extraordinarily busy during the winter months because seals and humans and dogs are mingling in the same areas. We logged 172 responses for seals this year. In most cases, the seals are healthy and seeking a place to rest out of the water. This rest is essential to their survival, so we station our trained volunteers on the beaches to help educate beachgoers about these delightful animals so that they can engage in responsible wildlife viewing and stewardship. Our rescues included a dependent gray seal pup that eventually became named Eloise, and she had washed up on the beach at the base of the Great Dune at Cape Henlopen State Park. We were experiencing extremely rough seas and very high tides. She was suffering from a bite wound. We hypothesized that she may have been bitten by another seal, probably an adult male, on the colony and fell into the water. She was so tiny she wasn't able to navigate those huge waves or make her way back up onto the rocks. So she washed ashore, and luckily a beachgoer saw her and called us. We were able to rescue her immediately and start providing life support for her. She still was covered in her soft, fluffy baby fur, and she really captured our hearts. She was perhaps the most adorable seal we have ever seen, and I'm very happy to say that she responded well to the treatment that we provided over the course of the next couple of days, after which she was transported to the National Aquarium in Baltimore, where she completed her rehabilitation and was successfully released and returned to the wild ocean a few months later. We also had another young male seal that we rescued who seemed to be in pretty good shape, but he did have a little bit of a cough. And he was lingering, he was staying on the beach for a number of days, and we started to worry there might be some underlying conditions that weren't readily evident. So we did rescue this seal. And again, we cared for it at MERR and then took it to the National Aquarium in Baltimore, where he had some touch and go moments, and he did have a lung infection, but was ultimately able to start recovering and responding very well to the good care that he received there. And he too was returned to the wild ocean. His stay was a little longer than Eloise's, but his Eloise simply needed life support, getting what she would have got from her mother while she was still with the mother before being weaned, whereas Tom Sawyer actually had an illness that he had to overcome. So part of the reason for the heightened number of seals is due to the emerging seasonal seal colony off of Lewis. This colony is quite naturally starting to produce newborn pups, which is another emerging trend in stranded marine animals in Delaware. We speculated that these pups that were born here might not know to head north as temperatures warm, and indeed we had several reports of young seals this summer. Most were over in the inland bays area. This new occurrence is throwing us into a whole new level of care for seals because dependent pups and newly weaned seals are often in need of intervention and life support. We will be responding to this need by increasing the number of tanks that we have in our facility and erecting quarantine areas, as well as stockpiling life-giving supplies such as fluids and other IV supplies. You can help us with this effort by visiting our Fund a Need page on the Finraiser website, which will enable you to donate towards the purchase of 2 portable tanks for the upcoming seal season, which should start any day now. Seals typically start showing up in our area in mid-November. You can further help these animals by reporting any seal sightings to MERR right away so that we can do an assessment and determine what level of care this animal might need, and also to station our volunteers at the scene. Please remember to maintain a distance of at least 150 feet from the seal and keep dogs on a leash at all times for their safety and for that of the seals. Our other visitors are sea turtles, which grace our shores and waterways during the summer months into the fall. We responded to 30 sea turtle strandings this year, most of which were victims of boat propeller strike. Sea turtles sleep on the surface of the water and don't hear boats approaching. Since they're hard to see in the water for the boaters, it would be very helpful if boaters would reduce their speed, particularly in the Delaware Bay and inland bays areas. This could give the turtle time to dive to avoid that deadly propeller. The other component of our mission are our education and outreach programs, and this may be the thing that we have missed the most during the pandemic. And these programs do so much to contribute to conservation. We know that it's the most powerful tool that we have towards conservation of these animals and their ocean habitat. So we are eager to get back into the classrooms and to use our Whalemobile for its intended purpose as a traveling ocean classroom. We have tiptoed back into a few outdoor programs this summer and hope to see that expand during the coming year. We were able to provide in-person internship opportunities this year for 3 college students that hailed from Delaware, Virginia, and New York. These students were able to get a rare opportunity to engage in the many facets of our Stranding Response program, including the rescue of the dolphin calf and one of the seal releases. This experience will serve them well as they venture into future academic and professional pursuits, and we always enjoy having them on our team with their enthusiasm for learning and their strong young backs for lifting. So we look forward to programming many more interns during this coming year. Our conservation efforts this year included community solar in the state of Delaware, liquefied natural gas transport in the Delaware Bay, protection for horseshoe crabs, which are a very important creature all and unto themselves, but also as a food source for loggerhead sea turtles. Protecting whales as the most effective carbon neutralizers, and the mass balloon release ban. And we are so proud of the efforts of so many that went into making this into law. The legislation was crafted under the guidance of Senator Hansen and was successfully signed into law by Governor Carney on September 17th of this year. The ban will prevent the mass release of balloons into the atmosphere, which end up being the cause of death for over 100,000 animals each year, 56% of which are sea turtles. Animals mistake the colorful balloons for food source, ingesting the balloons which cause impaction of their GI tract so that they slowly and painfully starve to death. This bill will take a year to go into effect, giving members of the public the opportunity to adjust to using alternatives for celebrations of life. We have included easy-to-find resources for these alternatives on our webpage dedicated to this topic. We want to acknowledge the students in Mr. Ott's class at the Sussex Academy of Arts and Sciences for their part in helping to get this legislation passed. They contributed artwork and videos to our webpage and also attended legislative sessions online and even provided remarks to our legislators. We like children to know that they do have the power to make a positive difference for our environment, and these children did just that. We also offer several citizen science opportunities, and these include our annual dolphin count held every July, a dolphin mapping program, and the Marine Debris Tracker. These activities give members of the public the ability to engage in meaningful contributions to the ecology and conservation of marine species, and the results are very beneficial to marine animal and ocean health and those who study those subjects. So there is no better person to describe these programs than our own Rob Rector, who's a board member with our organization and our techie guru extraordinaire. So I'm going to hand it over to Rob.
Thank you, Suzanne. So the 2 items that Suzanne has already mentioned are the dolphin spotting map, which was created and used this summer aboard the Cape Water Tours and Taxi. What it did was it allowed visitors on their weekly dolphin tours to take their pictures or videos that they captured of our local dolphins and upload them to a map, a shared map that anyone can view, and it will allow us to get some more granular data on them to find out a little bit more about their dorsal fins and any specific markings that we see on them, as well as where they are at certain times of day and certain times of the year. The second is called the Marine Debris Tracker. It is a National Geographic sponsored app that is available for both Android and Apple devices. You simply upload the app and you can select from some pre-formatted items that are typically found in and around the beach area. And even if it's not on there, you can make one of your own. It allows you to take a picture of it as well and upload it, and that information is shared with National Geographic so they can identify potential trouble spots not only in our area but also throughout the U.S. and around the globe.
We expect to have many more notable events to share with you during the coming year, and perhaps most exciting will be some new developments regarding our long-awaited Ocean Education Center, so stay tuned. We hope you thoroughly enjoy the Finraiser, and remember that all of your bids go towards the work that we do to protect the animals like those mentioned here. We thank you for your kind support and for helping us to help them. Let the bidding begin.